People sometimes claim that the ideal marriages are made in heaven. Maybe so. But you could argue that, at least in one case, it happened in Morehead. The year was 2001 when Peggy Osborne was named the faculty athletics representative for Morehead State University.
And I just absolutely have such a special place in my heart for most of those student athletes. And some of them, it's like every other student, some of them you just become so close to.
The Faculty Athletics Representative, or FAR, is responsible for the well-being of student athletes. That means monitoring their progress and ensuring that MSU's programs maintain academic integrity for those students.
And being able to talk to their parents when you're at a game. Sometimes parents will be able to come to away games when they can't come to home games because of travel situation or circumstances. But meeting their parents, their relatives, getting to know those folks, that has been such a joy. And to even other FARs, I have to tell you that a lot of them were very jealous through the years of what we were doing and the way we were doing those things. So I always was very proud to be able to stand up and say, well, we are doing that at Morehead State University.
As MSU's FAR, Osborne worked with school administrators, coaches, professors, and student athletes to make sure those young people were treated fairly in meeting their dual obligations.
One of the things that really bugged me early on had to do with student athletes being able to register for classes. One of the things that, as an advisor even, long before I became the faculty reps, working with student athletes, you discover that they had special requirements in terms of when they could have those classes. Coaches expected them to travel, they expected them to be at practice or conditioning, and working around that to create a schedule sometimes was extremely difficult.
That was especially troublesome, says Osborne, when Morehead State went to online registration.
Because when that opened, within just a few minutes, those classes would be full. Very often a student athlete might be on the road. They might be on a bus traveling. Well, in those days, Wi-Fi wasn't available. They couldn't just be ready to push a button to say, here are my classes. So they were getting left out, and then trying to get them in those classes was extremely difficult. And on occasion, we would find a student athlete had to have a class that's only offered that semester, which meant they were going to have to miss part of practice and those kinds of things. So that became a real issue for me, and trying to make sure that they had a fair shot at getting those things that they needed because of other requirements.
Osborne came to Morehead State with her husband John in the late 70s and quickly earned a master's degree in business administration. She became a faculty member in 1979. By the time of her retirement in 2017, Peggy Osborne had taught every marketing course Morehead State offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Some difficult issues demanded resolution during her tenure as MSU's faculty athletics representative. However, for Peggy and John, becoming fans of the Eagles' many sports teams was a slam dunk.
We love sports, pretty much all kinds of sports. Big fans, especially football and basketball. Those probably are the ones we started attending right away. The first games we attended, we were actually over in the old gym in Weatherby, and you sat right down on the floor, so we had an opportunity to watch the coaches very, very closely, and we learned a lot from those coaches through those games. And the same thing with regard to football, being able to be there and watch that program grow and see folks like Phil Simms come through. That was all really a big part of what we did, but we love sports.
Osborne was a co-recipient of the 2023 Eagle Spirit Award from the MSU Alumni Association. So to now be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame, well, that's just about as good as it gets.
You could have knocked me over with a feather. Never in my wildest dreams would I have anticipated or expected that kind of an award. It means so very, very much, and it is humbling to think that you're even going to be considered for that kind of an award.
Congratulations, Peggy Osborne, Morehead State Athletic Hall of Fame, class of 2023.